The debate disaster last night, that wasn't an accident. That wasn't the president trying to have a debate and failing. If we all walk away from the basic fundamentals of our democracy, something like a presidential debate, if we all say, that's terrible, that's an S show, that's a mess, that is unlistenable, I don't want anything to do with that, turn that off, right? It's understandable. Your feelings about that are shared more widely than you can possibly imagine. And talking about it in that way is rightfully, I think, a strong rejoinder to this president in terms of his behavior, making that such a mess that it was unintelligible and a disaster and useless and worth turning off. But our reaction to that collectively as a country, coast to coast, we saw it in papers all around the country, right? That reaction is also advantage to him. If he succeeds in making Americans believe that politics is a disgusting, pointless, argumentative display that nobody decent should bother participating in, then nobody decent will bother participating in it. It's why it makes tactical sense for him to be boring and incoherent and abusive and denigrating and repellent. It's tactically efficient. If he can make you believe that that's politics, who wants to be anywhere near politics? Let those guys have it. Let that guy have it. That's what's happened to our politics? I don't want anything to do with that. He can have it. That's what he wants. It's also why it doesn't hurt him, he thinks, to be widely recognized as corrupt. That is also disheartening and disgusting. Right? It turns us all off this mess, right? Install your family members, your unqualified family members in political positions, right? Government's stupid. Nobody actually needs specific skills or experience to hold high-level government jobs. Why not just give them to, the guy who carried my golf clubs and my son's wedding planner and my son and daughter-in-law and any other relatives want anything? They don't qualify for security clearances? Who cares about security clearances? I'm just going to say they should have them. None of this matters. This is all trash work. Doesn't matter if you put trash people in these jobs. It's all just a joke. He benefits when we devalue government. He benefits when we believe that democracy doesn't work and is disgusting. He benefits when we all think that the rules about how this is supposed to happen, those are rules for suckers, right? Regular order about how we're supposed to conduct ourselves as democracy. He wants us to think that that's antiquated, quaint. That regular order never really existed. It was all a scam. Doesn't matter anyway. It's all a boring, stupid, rigged con. Yeah, I'm corrupt. We're all corrupt. We've all been corrupt. Why would anybody decent want anything to do with this system? That's why you see all these things go together, not only with this president, but in authoritarian leaders all around the world, right? That's why you see corruption and grossness, repellent behavior, boorish behavior designed to turn people off. That's why you see that stuff go hand in hand with authoritarianism. That's part of how it takes over, is that it makes participation in normal politics something no normal person would want to do. It makes it something that only the worst of us can stomach. They like it. President tweeting today that last night's debate was fun. In regular order, in our democracy, which has persisted for well over 200 years, right? We have presidential debates, and we have presidential elections, and we cast ballots, including by mail, and the votes get counted, and that's how we determine who's president. This president believes, he may know, that he can't win under regular order. He can't win if all of those things happen. And so he wants us to believe that regular order doesn't apply this year, that he's rendered it moot, that it won't be the way that we choose the next president of the United States, not this year. He wants us to give up on it. So bolster yourself, however you need to. Learn more about what regular order is. In your state, do you know how electors are chosen? every state has its own law, its own rules about how they choose the electors that actually go to the Electoral College to have their votes tallied, which is actually what determines who's the next president. Do you know how electors are chosen in your state? Now's a good time to find out. Do you know how the election system is administered in your state? Now's a good time to find out. Do you know who's getting the call if people show up at a polling place somewhere near where you live and they're intimidating voters, they're threatening violence, they're perhaps even carrying out violence? Who's going to get the call to respond to that, to figure out what happens to the polling place that's been shut down or rendered ineffective by physical intimidation tactics? Who's going to get those calls? Who's going to make those decisions? These are knowable things because these things are administered by the regular order of American elections. The president making it seem like we're not even capable of holding debates anymore because presidents aren't like that anymore is part of him telling us that American democracy doesn't apply this year. That once he's there, we can't do American democracy anymore. We've got to figure out some other way to do this. And I guess this is going to be decided, what, in the courts? Or maybe in the streets? Stand by, right? Get your poll watchers in. The president wants us to believe that American democracy doesn't apply this year, not when he's going to lose if American democracy does its normal work in regular order. Learn what regular order is in your life, in your state. Keep your chin up. Defend the system or he'll crush it. We've got less than 5 weeks to go. You got this.